Hey, this is Steve. I wanted to do another little video from another hotel room. One pro and con of the job is definitely a lot of travel. So I get a lot of questions about hemp fiber, and hemp fiber is something that I've been really interested in since I began. That's really what got me into the hemp industry. And there's a lot of confusion as far as the difference between hemp that's grown for fiber and CBD stocks or cannabinoid stocks. I don't really like using the term CBD because that's really one cannabinoid, and I believe right now, and I mean, it could change by the time this video airs, or who knows, because people are still doing so much research with hemp. But I believe that there's 142 different cannabinoids, and CBD is just one of them. So I prefer to call it, growing for cannabinoids, not CBD. But that's just my own little 2 cents. So the fiber structure is really different between cultivars that are grown for fiber or even grain. Than CBD stocks. You look at crops that are grown for fiber, and it's one tall long shaft that doesn't have any branching. Where CBD or cannabinoid plants, they have a lot of branches. So the structure of the fiber is different. The connective tissue is different, and it's not those long lengths of fiber. So when you think of like a piece of thread, you'd want those long lengths. So and even when you're growing for, say, grain versus fiber, because hemp grain is pressed for oil. We press hemp seed oil. But and then also a lot of your health foods, the hulled hemp heart, so that would be the shell off of the hemp seed or the hemp grain. Like I said, we do the hemp seed oil. There's hemp protein powder, all sorts of great things that come from hemp grain. But that is grown a little bit differently too, because the seeding rate is less than when you're growing for a fiber crop. It could be the same cultivar, but you just plant it differently and harvest it differently, obviously. So with a grain crop, you're planting less per acre, and with those plants being a little bit further apart, they start to go into the reproductive cycle. Now the males pollinate the female flowers and start to produce seeds or grain for their reproductive cycle. And what happens is the stalk wants to support more of the weight of the plant, because there's all that weight of the seed head on the top of the stalk. So it'll actually produce a whole different fiber structure when you're growing for grain. When you grow for fiber, it's a heavier seeding rate, so you're going to have a lot more plants per acre, and it's harvested before you start to go through this reproductive cycle. So that way, all the energy is going into producing fiber and long growth, and it's very fine fiber lengths when you're growing for fiber, because you're not going into that cycle to where you have to help support all that weight. So even though that I'm in the my area of expertise, I guess, would be hemp fiber, and a lot of people ask me that grow CBD, how much are my stocks worth? And it's really hard for me to say right now that they're really not worth that much. There are certain things that can be made with it, but because the lengths are so short, it's tough to process. I decided one day to run a couple of CBD stocks or cannabinoid stocks through my decorticator. Again, I don't know if you've seen my previous videos, but a decorticator is the machine used to separate that bast fiber from the hurd. The herd's the woody center of the stalks. I ran a couple. I tried one, and it jammed the machine up. I mean, it started to go through, and it was like, nope, and just seized the whole machine right up. It was easy to fix. Fortunately, we've pulled that machine apart more times than I can count, to be honest with you. So, but There are uses for the CBD stocks. There are other products. There are other cannabinoids that are found in those stocks that can be extracted. We've been working on a couple of other uses for them. There's I started to do a little research with a non-mechanical decortication process. So instead of using a machine to do it, there's other methods that we've been doing to extract that. And again, the fiber structure is different, and there's a lot of other other benefits and, like I said, uses for those stalks. So it's tough because I know that prices have dropped with cannabinoids. Selling the flower or biomass for cannabinoids, the price dropped considerably from the 2018 Farm Bill. I mean, it created a gold rush or a green rush, and the market got flooded and saturated. And then throw in there a lot of crazy regulations that either are here in New York State or USDA regulations. It's been tough. I mean, nobody knows what the real regulations are because it seems like they change every day. I mean, just like research being done with hemp or cannabis every day, nobody knows what the regulations are because it seems like they change. And it's a tough it's a tough market. I know when I first got into fiber, everyone looked at me like I was crazy because there was so much money in cannabinoids. But I really felt that fiber was the more sustainable market. I felt like it was a better opportunity for farmers. Traditional farming equipment can be used to plant and harvest. I mean, and I get a lot of farmers that talk to me that they see me around and say, "Hey, Steve, geez, I'd love to turn my whole farm into hemp." And I usually cringe at that thought, and I just tell them, "No, let's talk about proper crop rotation." Because I think that hemp will help the environment. It'll help farms. It'll help the economy. It'll help agriculture. Not just vast economies, but local, small community economies. There's just so many benefits, and I'm not trying to pitch any sort of a get rich quick type of thing, but I really do believe that mixing hemp into a crop rotation, because hemp will remediate the soil or clean the soil, so you're pulling heavy metals out of the soil. So you're cleansing that soil, which is making it better for the next crop. And just like soybeans doing a switch between or a rotation between corn and soybeans or hay or alfalfa or whatever, having hemp in there is really a great mix. Now, my personal opinion as far as where that fits in the rotation may vary from what other people say, and especially universities, it might be a little bit of a different opinion. But if you'd like to learn more about that, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure that you ask questions, post questions in the comment section. Ask questions on the Facebook page. You can also find me on LinkedIn. I'll do the link below. And a couple of other links to different pages. And also you can find me on my personal Instagram. I'd like to try to build that up a little bit. It's Steve_Halton on Instagram. And feel free to ask questions. I think when I get more subscribers, more viewers, maybe I'll do some live videos. We can do a little bit of live chat, be able to ask more questions, and I'd really like to stay in touch with everybody and be able to answer all those questions and give you my opinions and the answers on that. And make sure you share this video. I mean, I really appreciate all the support. I mentioned in the other video, my kids think it's awesome every time they see likes and subscribes and everything else. They really look at me like they're a hero. So I appreciate you guys helping me in the eyes of my kids. So you have a wonderful day, and we'll look forward to the next video. Thank you.